Surviving infidelity. 31 years later, I'm so glad of the road I took. There is life after what, at the time, seems like the end. Back when I was 36, married with a 3-year-old daughter, 16-year marriage, 21-year relationship, working my tail off in a business. Came home one Friday in a really great mood, excited to see my daughter and wife. As soon as I came in the door, my wife asked me to sit down as she had something to tell me. She proceeded to tell me she had been having an affair with one of her customers, she was a hairstylist, and that they both agreed to divorce their spouses and get married. She went on to tell me I was a great guy, but made clear she felt this guy could provide her the lifestyle and material things she felt she deserved. That I did not understand how important material things are to her. Needless to say, I was completely caught off guard. I really struggled for a month or two, even experienced what I felt were mini strokes when I'd lose my ability to speak. Then one day woke up and I felt better. I saw the bright side. I moved out over the same weekend with essentially my clothes, and a week later, the guy she's been having this affair moved in with my wife and daughter. His wife of course tossed him out. They were married a month after the divorce was final. I was even a no-show at my own divorce. I was mailed a copy. I was in LA working at the time. I just started all over again. My 3-year-old daughter saved my life. I can't imagine making it through those first couple months without her. At 3, she seemed to know my pain, and it shocked me that a child barely 3 could have that level of empathy. I went on and became the best father ever. Spent years helping in the school. Was able to have a career that exploded and grew very rapidly. My income increased 4-fold in the next 1 to 2 years. The relationship I had with my daughter was so amazing then, and even today my 34-year-old with 2 of her own kids is still amazing. I'm 67 now, almost 68, done more than my share of dating, have a thriving business, have traveled internationally for years. I own a business, a couple commercial buildings, I work full-time because I want to. I come and go as I please. I've dated far too much and have become quite content over the last few years. Really enjoying my work and the ability to be free and open. I have ample opportunities to have a casual night out. I can't imagine the life I would have had and what I would have missed out on had not my wife left me when she did. I became a better father, more successful and more confident. I lost one thing and gained so much more. So as dark as it feels at first, the light does start coming in, you just have to look for it. Now for the top comments. Here OP. 5 more days until my 7th D-Day anniversary, and I am so much happier now, and I have a much better relationship with my daughters than I would have had I stayed. Living well is the best revenge. How do you do it? I'm 2 years removed from D-Day and not yet financially where I was prior. Due to property prices going up 50% in last 2 years and crazy economy, future is uncertain. I'm 41 male and decided to date again. I'm practically invisible online dating and COVID means no traveling and meeting in real life. Hopefully in 20 years I could post the same as you have. I got very lucky. And it takes luck and work. Hang in there. COVID has been tough on everyone. I'm double vaccinated and starting to travel again. When you get your power back, don't give it away. I lost one thing and gained so much more. If I may ask, how long after your ex-wife told you those words, was the first time you felt like you mentioned above? Has your ex-wife stayed with that guy? The worst seemed to end rather soon. Post-divorce maybe 2 months. Like I said, I was saved by a 3-year-old little girl. They are still together. They've had serious financial issues over the years, seems they are both better at spending than making. Some issues with domestic fights, they can't afford to get divorced. So better him than me. Very happy to hear that you are where you are now, and bless your child for saving you. Now for the next story. Me, 36 male, told my 12-year-old son that I'm not his real dad and his mom cheated, 36 female. Here's the backstory, I'm a 36-year-old male. I have a wife who I will call Becky, she's also 36. She was my high school sweetheart, and I also have 2 sons. One being 12 and his name is Carl. We had him when we were 24. And one being 18, I will call him Jack, we had him when we were 18. We had a little whoopsie, or so I thought. When we were dating in high school, we had intercourse not too often, maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks. We started when we were maybe 16 to 17. Also, my 12-year-old son, when he was 10 and 11 he got involved in the wrong friend group. I'm not sure where or how they found this out, but they knew everything about intercourse, puberty and pretty much everything you wouldn't want an 11-year-old kid to know. He was always a good kid, So when he confessed to me that he got told about all that and was forced to do some really horrible stuff for his age. Apparently, his friends knew someone who had fights and people bet on who would win. Thank God that Carl never fought anyone. He also drank some alcohol there too. Also, if you're wondering, he had a phone and every 2 or 3 days he would call me telling me he was going to his friend's house. He was forced to bet all his pocket money. He told me this all and he said none of it felt right and he didn't think he should know this stuff. I was shocked and I didn't know what to do. I eventually told him he needs to cut contact with those people and I made him move schools. I never grounded him. He was fine with it because he realized those were horrible people, and he didn't want to be in it anymore. I took him to a nice private school and he liked it there. But ever since, he was a very mature kid. Never did anything that an immature kid would do. Always did chores, always used manners and was just even nicer than before. He made sure that others go before him. I don't know how or why he started acting like this, but I was 100% sure it had to do with his old friends. I told my wife and she wanted to ground him for a month but I refused because I thought that would make him feel like he made a huge mistake and like he failed in life. I supported him but my wife did not. And he wouldn't talk to him for a month. Fast forward to the next year, and I decided to get ancestry kits for my family when they got back. They strongly suggested that I was not their dad. I knew the tests were not perfect so behind everyone's back I got a paternity test on them. Turns out that they're not my kids. Turns out they were 2 other dudes' kids. I was shocked. I told my 18-year-old first and he was shocked. He was also sad. I told him no matter what, I loved him even though I wasn't his bio dad. Next was my wife. I confronted her and she started crying begging for forgiveness, but I said I was going to tell my 12-year-old son. She begged me not to because he's just a little kid. He's not a little kid and I thought he could take it. I told him and he started crying. I told him even though I'm not his bio dad, I will always love him and that his mom made a mistake. Both my sons won't talk to my wife now. When my wife found out I'd told them, she was livid. I told some of my close friends and they agreed with my wife. I want a divorce but I'm afraid I will lose the kids. I don't know what to do. Please help me. What do you guys think of this? I have 2 questions. 1. What do I do next? 2. Was it a good idea to tell my son? Please help. Edit, I'm going through with the divorce. Also, I'm getting checked for STDs. Thanks all. Now for the top advice. If you had intended on staying with her, then I probably wouldn't have told him till he was older. Since you intend on leaving, he should know the truth before she has a chance to lie. Divorce court could be a double-edged sword for her. If he tries to block you from seeing him on the grounds he's not yours, it will shed light on her infidelity. You should immediately contact a divorce lawyer and make preparations. Okay, I think that's what I will do. The 18-year-old is an adult so you won't lose him. For the 12-year-old, if you're on the birth certificate, then you could get custody. Consult a lawyer. And your wife can piss off with being angrier. Firstly, she cheated who knows how many times. Only 2 got her pregnant doesn't mean she stopped cheating after the 12-year-old. She also risked your health so I would get that checked seeing as STD can stay dormant for years. And contact a lawyer and see what the options are like with custody. This is about how you did it, rather than what you did. I get the feeling that's what's bothering you. Regardless, Pandora's box is open. The best you can do is resolve things quickly and amicably. What's wrong with how he did it? He literally just told them as soon as he found out. Told them and reassured them that he loves them anyway, enough that his main concern right now seems to be keeping a relationship with them if he divorces their mother. He'll be made the villain for refusing to keep her secret though. Obviously, the real issue wasn't that she was cheating over the span of 6+ years and had 2 bastards, the issue is that OP told them. Next story is titled, Wife cheated on me 5 times with 5 different guys over the past 3 years, I made a self-harm attempt, and now she wants to tell the kids it's mutual. And now, to fill in some blanks for you. If we rewind the clock to the heady old year of 2015, that was the year that I was afflicted with mystery nerve pain that ultimately caused me to quit my job and go on disability. I lived on disability for 3 years, becoming increasingly isolated and depressed. I withdrew from my wife and kids and basically only woke up each day to eat and play video games. It took a toll on my wife, who had to handle the majority of the housework and kid wrangling. Eventually, her personality began to change, and it came out that she was exchanging inappropriate texts with a male friend. My depression was so bad at the time I finally went to the doctor to ask for meds. As it turned out, the med they put me on worked for the nerve pain and the depression. It seemed like a miracle cure, and life got better as I was able to get back to work and help out more with the house and kids. Fast forward to current day. And my wife telling me she has no feelings for me anymore and wants a divorce. What happened, you say? Well, in the past 3 years, she has cheated on me 5 separate times with 5 separate guys. Why the hell am I still in this marriage, you say? Well, we have 2 beautiful kids, I'm a forgiving person, and each time I was led to believe that we could potentially work it out. Until this time, when apparently we can't. Each time one of the previous incidents occurred, I would basically halt my life and rearrange everything to accommodate my wife and attempt to make her happy. My depression was so bad and my meds were so screwed up that this time I made a self-harm attempt with pills. I spent a week in the psych ward at the hospital and got things corrected, but now I have all the divorce stuff we are working through. We are basically on the same page with everything except she wants to tell the kids that we are breaking up mutually, when the reality is that she is done with the marriage and wants to end it. All I want her to do is tell the kids that mommy doesn't want to be married to daddy anymore. Is that so crazy? Shouldn't the kids at least be told some of the truth? Now for the top advice. Stand your ground on this. She needs to take some responsibility. This will be a slippery slope because as the kids get older, they will want more information. She then will be able to turn your kids against you as she feeds them more false information. She is the one who broke your vows, who chose to seek attention from other men. She made the violation and now doesn't want responsibility for it. Do not let her off the hook. This isn't mutual. And it hurts the kids more to lie about it. The truth is you are in denial. Your marriage has been over for a long time. Cheated with 5 separate men and you stayed with her. She has no respect for you. The best thing for you and the children is a divorce. Will telling the kids this is all on mom help them feel better, or just you? After they are grown, it would be okay to tell them what she has done. But really, why do you want to stay in this marriage? Unhappy parents raise unhappy children. You should want this divorce more than she does. Respect yourself, then decide what is best for the kids as their parent, not a revengeful betrayed spouse. I appreciate this and I'm learning in therapy that my low self-worth has kept me in this marriage far longer than I should have been. I am so sorry, brother. I hope you've been getting therapy at the very least. Try looking for a betrayal trauma specialist. Check your inbox, I'm sending some resources. How old are the kids? She might twist it into parental alienation if you're too straightforward. If they're young, I think something along the lines of, mommy broke a super important promise she was supposed to keep with daddy, and mommy and daddy can't stay together anymore because of it. We both love you very much, and it'll just be 2 happy homes instead of 1 from now on. Should be fine. Yes, I'm finally getting some much needed therapy to talk things out. Since there was always the hope of reconciliation, I have kept most of this stuff bottled up over these last few years. Now for the last story. 2 cheating ex-wives. Now I can't get motivated. The short versions. First wife married early 20s, both in the military. There were always rumors of her cheating. She was usually the only one that informed me of the rumors. If me or her was gone, she would call me crying that people were spreading rumors that she was cheating. That probably happened on 4 different occasions. She had done the same, calling me crying on her last deployment, telling me about rumors of her sleeping with a guy. She was trying to have me help him while they were gone. Getting vehicle tags and moving things, etc. She came back. Had me drinking with him and taking shots at my house during a bonfire. The next morning, she told me she didn't want to be with me anymore, then fell back to sleep. I couldn't sleep, and since there were rumors, I checked her computer and found their emails, then confronted her. After some convincing, she finally admitted they'd been sleeping with each other for several months. I had gone on a week-long trip before school ended, and I moved back home. I found handprints on my headboard from her sleeping with him in my bed. We divorced and I moved back to my home state. We had a son that I have custody of, she has visitation. They are now married and live in a different state. I started to date my second wife way too soon after the divorce. She didn't meet my son for almost a year after we started dating. She was nice to him while we dated. We were married about 2 years after we started dating. She'd find something dumb to fight about, then go stay at her mom's regularly, 8 times over the marriage. She had 2 sons that didn't get along with mine and she'd always take their side. Get mad because I didn't support her when it was only ever my son that would get a punishment. She told me she wanted a divorce just before our 3rd anniversary. Turned out she was moving in with a soccer coach. Afterwards people started telling me about how she'd cheated with someone else. That happened several times. Aside from another possible 5 to 10 others, there was also 2 of her exes, a guy I'd known my whole life, and my cousin. There were a lot more red flags and signs with both of them, but that would be really long to detail. I realized my ignorance and stupidity in ignoring the signs in my gut. My second divorce was in 2018. I saw a counselor for a while after, but I don't know that it really helped. I used to enjoy lifting weights and exercising. Antidepressants seemed to have killed that enjoyment and made me numb to caring that I'd stop exercising or doing anything really. I quit the meds, but I still can't get motivated to care. I tried dating, but that seems to just be a joke. I see red flags everywhere now. I can't seem to trust anyone anymore. I don't really have any friends. I had one friend since high school. I'm 38 now. He waited till I told him I was divorcing my second wife to inform me he knew. The guy I'd known my whole life had slept with my wife a couple times, and had known for several months. Aside from my mom letting me talk to her and she says nice things, my sister was the only one that ever actually tried to help or do anything supportive. No one else in my large extended family ever said a thing to me. People I'd known my whole life chose her and the soccer coach, and would flat out avoid me. I lived in a town of about 6,000 people. I moved an hour away to a larger city. I'm slowly forcing myself to go to the gym, but I don't really enjoy it anymore. My depression isn't too bad now, but aside from about 3 family members, I don't seem to care about anything. If I'm not working, the gym, or doing stuff with my kid, all I do is sit and watch TV, and it's driving me crazy. Is this lack of motivation normal? How the heck do you trust anyone anymore? How do you get back to somewhat normal? Added for clarity. I am not looking for or wanting a relationship anytime even remotely soon, if ever. I don't trust anyone. I only have one person I talk to regularly. I'm not wanting to trust people so I can get into a relationship. I'd like to have some sort of faith in humanity. Now for the top advice. You start by trusting your own gut and others who told you about the cheating. How can you expect to trust others when you don't trust your gut? I think deep down you had an inkling of what was going on, but chose to ignore clues, signals, hints, peculiarities and third-party rumors. Pretending bad things aren't happening doesn't prevent them from happening. You can start to trust when you look reality straight in the eye fearlessly, and immediately take corrective action when the eyes are evil ones. Oh, I ignored my gut. Blamed it on insecurity. The rumors with the first one I only ever heard from her. She'd come to me and tell me there were rumors. The only rumors on the second one were from my cousin's wife that I don't talk to. And she vaguely told my sister when they were arguing about something else. Other than that, no one said a thing till I was divorcing her. Then they seemed to come out of the woodworks, but I definitely ignored red flags. I'm wondering why most people in your extended family never felt the need to be loyal to you. I consider their actions betrayal, even your mother. Would you have any idea why very few people take your side? My mother is an unqualified parent and an evil narcissist. But she's the only one whom I can never trust in my family. Yours seem to have come to an agreement beforehand. My dad's family is always negative and have a lot of anger. My paternal grandparents were very mentally abusive and somewhat physically as well. I am only on good terms with a few people on that side of the family. On my mom's side, we were the black sheep. They have the typical preppy middle-class style. They avoid any negative talk and don't say anything really. If it's negative, they avoid it till it blows over. My branch didn't tend to do that after dealing with my dad for so long. They all pretend like we're the bad folks, but in reality, they have skeletons they avoid talking about and tend to look down on us. My mom is one of the nicest people you'd ever meet. She dealt with my severely mentally mistreating dad for 18 years till he divorced her. She means well, but she just isn't much help aside from some encouraging words and letting me stay there after the first divorce. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.